knac.com. Welcome again to another exciting interview. I'm stoked to talk to one of the legends in Swedish death metal, Vomitory, sick drummer, Tobias. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good, thanks.
You guys will be
Uh,
releasing a new album. All heads are going to roll this coming week on Metal Blade Records. 12 years in the making, man. How does it feel to finally have something put out?
it feels absolutely great. Since we split up the band in 2013, and we never intended to reunite ever again, but uh, life wanted uh, something else for us. So here we are now, and we decided a couple of years ago to start working on a new album. So and get back together as a band for real this time.
Mhm.
Previously in 2019, we reunited to play only play live and to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the band. Uh, and We were supposed to do a handful of shows during 2020 as well, but then the
Sure.
pandemic came and so on. And during the pandemic, we started talking and thinking about maybe we should do it like in the old days again and, release albums and go on tours and so on.
You guys reunited around Summer Breeze, right? And there was kind of besides the fans wanting you guys back, there was a purpose behind reuniting, right?
We worked with Metal Blade Records for most of our career. And in 2013, the previous label manager of Metal Blade Europe passed away way too young. And he was also the manager of the Summer Breeze Festival in Germany. And in 2017, the festival had its 20th anniversary. So they wanted to invite bands that had worked closely with Michael Trengert during the years, and to celebrate, to honor his memory. So they dedicated one stage at the festival area
Very
to
cool.
him, and a lot of bands played there. And when we got the question, we of course we couldn't say no to that, because
Of
I
course.
mean we just had to do it because we owe Michael quite a lot. He was the one who signed Vomitory to Metal Blade back in 1999, and he got us on some really good tours in the beginning of our career on Metal Blade. So in a fairly short time, he managed to make our band name grow pretty much, which we're of course are eternally grateful for. So
Mhm.
this was the least thing we could do, to honor him,
Yeah.
to play this tribute show.
I think
So
it's a great way
when
to
after
honor him. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
And your
So
first Metal Blade release was Revelation Nausea, right?
yeah, that's right. Released in I think it's in April 2001.
2020,
2000,
20,
yeah, 2001.
2001. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was that like the spark that just like, okay, we're on Metal Blade Records. We have to honor this guy's memory and let's just put out a relentless, just bloodthirsty album, and then it's a great album. Do you still carry that fire? You think it's carried on all these years, and now with the new album, all heads are gonna roll. Like, you still have that fire burning inside of you all.
Yeah, we more correctly, we got it back, because when we decided to call it quits back in 2013, the fire was more or less gone.
Oh man.
Uh, we had lost the drive and the motivation to carry on with the band. So the fire was out, but I think it came back actually at that special Summer Breeze show,
Mhm.
and it certainly came back during 2019 when we played live, and we had a very successful year, and we played quite a lot of shows in countries that we had never played before, and the feedback from the fans was absolutely amazing. So that fueled us for sure to you know wake or light the fire again. Yeah.
Very cool. Now we're talking with Tobias Gustavsson, drummer, sick drummer from VOMITORY, Swedish death metal guys. Let's talk about the new album. All Heads Are Gonna Roll. You guys have released already a couple of videos, a couple of singles for this one. Raped, Strangled, Sodomized, Dead. Awesome
Yeah.
title. And also the title track, All Heads Are Gonna Roll. Um, Now this is like true traditional, well, I mean, not some generalized so much, but it's you have the meat and potatoes of like death metal. You have the gory vocals, the gory subject matter. Uh, but Swedish death metal has always been a genre in itself. In your words, how would you describe the Swedish death metal sound? The sound that you guys have managed to keep traditional, while some Swedish death metal bands have went more the melodic way. You guys really kept like the grind going.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that we are like a typical Swedish death metal sounding band, because I would say that we are generally faster than the typical Swedish death metal, but try to keep it straightforward, and stay close to our roots and the bands that we grew up listening to, and the old school death metal bands like Bolt Thrower, Grave, Entombed, Napalm Death, and those kind of bands. But also speed things up a little bit. That's where Napalm Death comes in, and also Terrorizer, Vader, of
That
course.
heavy grind element, like that really shows in your music. Up, or as you were growing up in the metal scene, and what were you seeing? What shows were you catching? Who was influencing you? You mentioned a lot of these great bands, but what was it that got you into being a metal drummer?
I don't know, because as far as I can remember, I was always attracted to drums and drumming. When I was a kid, watching the Friday night live shows on TV where they had this band. I always looked at the drummer and was very fascinated by it, and I thought the drums looked cool and sounded cool as well. So as far as I can remember, I always wanted to play drums, but I didn't start playing drums for real until I was 13 years old, when I got my first drum kit.
What was
And
do you remember what was the drum kit that you got?
that was some Taiwan made stuff, a five-piece kit, one kick drum, two rack toms, and one floor tom and a snare drum, and one cymbal. It was called Getz, Getz.
Wow, never heard of that brand.
No, it was they made a lot of that kind of drum kits back then, with different funny names. But it was dark blue, and I was super proud of it. Yeah, and my earliest influences as a young aspiring drummer was, of course, Nico McBrain and Clive Burr from Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
And all the bands that I listened to, like Stefan Kaufmann of Accept, um, the guy from Running Wild, can't remember the name. Dave Lombardo, obviously.
Sure.
Early Metallica, I love that. So Lars, of course, and yeah, all kinds of heavy metal, and Dave Holland from Judas Priest. Yeah, all those
So
guys.
you, you
Nigel
were,
Glockler, Filthy Taylor from Motorhead.
yeah. I happened to just talk to Nigel like a couple of weeks ago. Nigel's an awesome drummer. I
Yeah.
think probably one of the original like metal drummers. You know, his style is so amazing, and still to this day they still sound
Yes.
great. Right? I don't know if
Yeah.
you've heard the
Yeah.
last Saxon record, but it was pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah. So, so you're pretty much self-taught. You just like took it upon yourself. You were hands-on and just kind of learned by just watching and doing.
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. No formal training at all or anything.
I got some formal training after a couple of years since I started, but that was more to learn the theoretical side, to learn to
Mhm.
read notes and so
Sure.
on. And my teacher thought that I was uh, good enough on the drum kit, so he wanted to introduce me to more percussion stuff, like the marimba and marching snare drum and that kind of stuff.
Oh wow.
So there was a lot of marching snare drum during a couple of years, which I enjoyed because you always learn something.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I
Always,
missed
always
playing
keep learning.
playing the drum kit. I wanted to develop on the drum kit, so but I think I managed to do that by myself.
Yeah, you hit a good stride, and you're striking some good gold with Vomitory, the new album. All heads are gonna roll, coming out this week. Metal Blade Records. It sounds amazing, thick, crunchy. The subject matter gory. What are some of your favorite tracks on this record?
Oh, it's very difficult to pick favorite tracks, especially now when the album is so fresh. But um, the title track is definitely a favorite of mine. Um, Also, um, um, Dead World, The Deepest Tomb, uh, Peace by Stinking Peace, and yeah, the last one, Beg for Death. It's a really, really good one. And Rape, Strangle, Sodomize Dead, of course. That's like more than half of the songs that that I
Yeah,
mentioned
well, I
now.
mean, yeah, I mean, it's a good favorite album, and like a lot of great music. It's definitely going to be on my list of the best of 2023. The sound, the
Cool.
production, it sounds not just the songwriting, but the production of it all. Like it's really thick and deep. Still has that raw sound, not overproduced like a lot of stuff is nowadays. And you guys did great in capturing that studio sound. Who did you work with, or tell us about the studio experience?
Well, we went with a different approach this time around compared to our previous albums, where we just booked one studio and did everything there. This time we stayed in our rehearsal place and brought the studio there to record the instruments. So we were in our rehearsal place, and uh, even though I mean it's being in your own place, it's often more, you know, you can choose the hours more freely than compared to when you're in a real studio. But we still had to work with a very strict schedule to have everything done on time, because the master needed to be delivered to Metal Blade. To, everything had to work, like certain deadlines had to be followed. So we did the instruments in our rehearsal place, and then we recorded the vocals in Leon Music Studios, where we did our previous three albums. So, and then after that, uh, everything was sent to Lawrence McRory for mixing and mastering at Rory Sound Studios in Uppsala, Sweden. So he did the magic that he does on the tracks, and yeah, we're really happy with how it turned out. um, Lawrence, he has a very we really like his way of how he mixes his productions. So, it's as you say, it's very thick and powerful, but still there is actually a lot of air in the sound, which I really
Mhm.
like. And I like his approach on mixing drums, so it actually sounds like drums and nothing else.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. I'm
Yeah.
a drummer myself, so like that's like of course, like you said, it's one of the things you focus on. It's just like the drummer and who's
Oh,
doing what you're hearing. So yeah,
cool.
sick drummer Tobias Gustavsson, Vomitory, new album. All heads are gonna roll through Metal Blade Records. I love talking to other drummers because I love just talking, shop. I love talking gear. Um, Tell us about the kit that you used for this record.
It's my old workhorse that I've had for I don't know how many years, but more than 15 years. It's a Tama
Nice.
Star Classic Birch Bubinga. I used that one on Opus Mortis 8 and
Oh,
also on Carnage Euphoria. Yeah. Um, and it's a double bass, 22 kicks, and 10, 12, 13 rack tom, 16 floor tom, and this time I also added a 8-inch concert tom above the hi-hat.
mm-hmm.
And I
Gotta
have
squeeze it in there.
yeah, yeah. And I have minor cymbals, like
Oh,
3 crashes, pure alloy custom, and Busan's heavy hammered, heavy bell ride, and 18-inch China, and a splash, pure alloy, and a Soundcaster custom, old discontinued series. Soundcaster custom, I think it's called Piccolo Trash Splash or something. It's a 12-inch splash with holes in it, so it's really fast and aggressive. Really cool.
wow. I'm gonna have to like listen carefully to see if I could catch it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. It's not very audible in the mix. We
Oh,
screwed that up, and
oh,
I have a Chelsea Copito pedals on my kit.
oh, wow. Yeah, those are heavy
Yes.
duty pedals I've heard.
Oh yeah. Oh, they are absolutely amazing. All the great things you hear about them are true.
Yeah.
I
Is
guarantee you.
the devil's hoof or something like that?
Yep. In Polish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the drum heads I used on the toms, I had Evans UV2 on top,
Yeah.
uh, and EC Rizzo on the bottoms, and the snare drum is a Tama SLP black brass snare, 14 by 6.5, fitted with the die-cast hoops, and I had a Evans reverse dot on top and some regular snare side drum head on that one. And the kicks, I have Remo Power Stroke 3 clear.
All right.
Those work best, I think. So that's about it, gear
Very true.
wise, for
Yeah.
me on that album. Yeah.
Very cool. I'm a Tama guy myself, so I appreciate that. I have a Rockstar kit and awesome
Cool.
stuff, man. And we're talking all heads are gonna oh there it is. Yeah.
No, that's the other one.
Oh, which Tama is that?
It's the new performer, Maple Birch.
Nice, nice. What color is it? Like looks like black.
Yeah, piano black.
Black. Is that so? Is that like your? I see. Like, is that a Marshall cab? Like you jam? Is that like your studio guys where you jam at, or just like a jam
No,
room?
this is my own jam room at home.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome
And
setup, man.
that Marshall is actually a fridge.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, all heads are gonna roll. It's out this week. Tell us more about the album as far as like what can the fans expect from All Heads Are Gonna Roll, and tell us about like what led to this album, like 12 years later since the last release, and we're going all the way back since like '89, since your debut. Like how would you compare these albums?
I think it is I mean, Vomitory fans, I'm quite sure that they will like it because it's everything that you would want from a Vomitory album, I think. Uh, and But still it's kind of refreshed sound, or in lack of a better word, but that's how I feel about it. But still, we when we started writing for this album, we talked a lot about how we should not try to complicate things too much, and because I feel that in certain parts and maybe certain songs on our last album, Opus Mortis 8, we did complicate things a little bit too much, which was I don't know why we did that, but we this time around we looked back to our albums from the early 2000s, like Revelation Nausea and Blood Rapture, to get a more straightforward approach in the songs, like more fist in your face and no bullshit, just
Yeah.
pure raw power, if you
Yeah.
want.
Oh, totally. It's totally there.
Yeah, and another thing that was that we decided even before we started writing was that we wanted to focus more on building stronger choruses, more memorable choruses in the songs, because I think we think that we lack that previously. We always, more or less, we have always had choruses in our songs, but maybe not so memorable, or they didn't stand out so much. So we wanted them to really stand out on this album, and I think we did that very well.
I think
So
so. I think everybody's
those,
going to enjoy this new album. All heads are going to roll. Again, it's out this week, Metal Blade Records. I really appreciate your time. The drumsticks, do you have a particular drumsticks that you like to use?
yeah, I'm a Vater artist. But right now I'm between two models,
Oh, okay.
stick models. I used Power Power 5B for many years with nylon tip.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, for
Nylon tip.
yeah, Power 5B
Nice. Okay.
with a nylon tip. But I've had those for a good 10 years or something like that. But a few years ago, I wanted something heavier and slightly thicker, so I changed to the rock model and play with that for through the whole of 2019 and
The size 2B maybe?
yeah, yeah. In thickness, it's like 2B, but it's longer and it
Oh,
has a um, heavier feel in the front,
mhm.
shorter. Never mind, but it's a different feel from a 2B.
Oh,
But all of last year, like right before we started recording the album, I started to feel uncomfortable with the rock model. I thought it was too heavy, and uh, I was lacking speed. So I was changing, trying different models. But I used the rock model on the album.
mhm.
But then I've tried more different models after that, and I came to the conclusion that I am going with the Power 5B, but now I am uncertain again.
Oh man,
So
yeah.
I'm switching between those two at the moment.
So you guys are about to hit the road, right? It's kind of like festival season, where you're at, and so you're having quite a few shows from now until or June until August, right? Here in like Germany, uh, the Netherlands, Czech Republic, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. What
So
are some
the
of the
last
festivals you have?
first one is well, first of all, we're playing in our hometown, Karlstad, in next Friday next week. We're having the
Awesome.
release show. So yeah, and then by the end of June, we're playing in Protzen, Germany, at Protzen Open Air, and then the day after in Czech Republic at Basin Fire. And then we are playing at a festival called Stonehenge in the Netherlands. a really cool one-day festival. Autopsy is going to headline, so that's going to be really cool.
Oh, very cool.
And we're playing Alcatraz Festival in Belgium, which is a pretty big one, and in Helsinki Metal Fest in Finland. And the last festival we're doing for the summer is in Switzerland, called Mesaf. It's a really cool festival up in the mountains, really nice. So, and after that, the plan is that we're doing a European tour for about a month. It will be announced later, so we'll be gone for a month, and then in November we're going to Mexico, play at Mexico Metal Fest in Monterrey, and also as it looks now, we're doing an Asian tour in November as well.
Oh, wow.
And we're ending the year in December in the Netherlands again at Eindhoven Metal Meeting.
Eindhoven, yes, right on.
Yeah, and we're also, of course, working for shows for next year. We already have one confirmed in the US, and that's at the Maryland Death Fest in Baltimore.
Yeah, I saw that next year, Maryland Death
May.
Fest.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make it out to that one. I'm out in Los Angeles, so it's going to be quite a flight, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah, quite far.
Yeah, but I do hope that you guys plan on coming to the States, and especially Los Angeles. I'm sure Los Angeles will just eat it up and be there in fury. So,
Yeah, we would love that. Absolutely.
totally. And if you guys need contacts, I don't know if you. I'm sure you guys have contacts here. Like, what am I saying? Yeah, you guys are fun. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. Tobias Gustavsson, drummer, Vomitory. All heads are going to roll out through Metal Blade now. Get your pre-orders in, or actually no, pre-orders are done. Just order it and be patient because it's worth the wait. 12 years in the making for this amazing album. I really appreciate your time. And any last words for the fans out there that you wanted to say? Anything?
Well, a huge thank you for the support and the welcome back that we have received. I mean, the reactions we have got so far on our two videos and singles that we have released has been absolutely overwhelming. It feels so great, and it seems like a lot of fans have been waiting a long time for this, and we are really happy that we are here to be able to play for them again.
Very cool. And the carnage truly rages on. Tobias, thank you for your time, Tobias, and give a horns
Thanks.
and a fist bump and salute to everyone in the Vomitory camp. And again, thank you for your time, and see you next year, I guess.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you very much.
Very cool. Cheers.
Cheers.